guys, my name is Brandy and I want to welcome you to the channel Sewing Back. We're in my kitchen. It's a rainy day and over the weekend we noticed on our lemon tree, we have a Meyer's lemon tree and we live in Kennesaw, Georgia, which is 7B growing zone. And so this tree is about, I want to say it's like 3 years. This is our 3rd year of production. So, so that we've had it. And this year it was weird. Like we potted it up. It had gotten much bigger. We put it in a bigger pot. Because here, if it gets below 26 degrees, you're supposed to bring it indoors. It's kind of to the point now we can't move it. And so we went ahead and potted it up, and we figured we would buy a cover and we would cover it. We knew that was also an option. We have a few times in the winter where we might get that low. We typically wouldn't hang out there for very long. And so I was kind of willing to take the gamble. So we potted it up, we gave it some citrus tone, what was recommended for the size tree we had, all of those things. And this year we noticed that the fruit started turning kind of early. And the tree itself just looked, it looked different than it had in past. The other thing that we did when we potted it up is we moved it from a partial sun to a full-on, oh my mama, I got sun, like 13 hours a day during the summer months. And it's citrus. I would think it would do fine with that, but I'm now not sure. And I thought we would get fruit sooner than we did, because then it seemed to kind of, as the sun patterns changed, it slowed down finishing its ripening. Typically, we've gotten ripe lemons somewhere between, I think the earliest we'd ever gotten them were Thanksgiving, and typically all the way through Valentine's Day. So we had some freezes and we put our cover on, and it was one of those covers where it still can get light, it still can get water. And the other day we were walking by and I noticed some of the lemons had fallen off into the tree bag that it was covered up in. And then as we pulled it off, we noticed that some of them were, let's see, like this. If you can see that, it's rotten. And it wasn't a couple weeks ago. And I was so upset. And so all of our lemons had to come off the tree. And so we cannot consume all of our lemons before they're going to go bad. Some of them are bad, and we can't really use them for our consumption. But I have a purpose for those that I've pulled aside, that I'm going to put in some vinegar to make a vinegar lemon essential oil kind of cleaner. And but with my other ones that I have, we like lemons, but we won't eat them that fast. I'm going to slice them up and I'm going to dehydrate them in my food dehydrator. And so I thought, when I've dehydrated just a few things on the channel, and when I have, a lot of people ask me questions and are interested in it, because a lot of people will talk about a freeze dryer. And while I'm sure that's great, they are very expensive. And it's just, I don't know that it makes a lot of sense for a lot of people. But a food dehydrator, you can do a lot of things with it. It's pretty versatile, and if you like to garden, it could come in handy for you, and it's pretty affordable. You can get a food dehydrator relatively cheap, and a lot of times you can find them at yard sales and or like marketplace and things like that. So the one I have, I got off Amazon. I can link it below. It's a Kasori. I didn't go with like the Excalibur or any of that. This one was kind of middle of the road, and when I bought it, I think that I ended up paying around $158 for it, but that was because I bought all these kind of trays. I went ahead and bought all of that with it. You don't have to have that. I knew I would want it, and because I have, the Kasori has the metal trays, And so I just knew I'd want it, and I got like several of the fruit leather ones and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's what I paid. It, give or take 20 bucks, because it's been a few years. And so I have loved it. We still haven't made beef jerky in it, which is something we want to do. My kids want to do. Particularly one of my sons is very interested in doing. And part of that's because my dog ate the manual from the walls of the skin. And so I've just been taking the peels and putting them in my jar. And then I've been slicing, because you want about 1/4 of an inch, and I've been kind of trying to get the seeds out as much as I could. Can you see that? Let's see. There you go. And I'm putting them on my tray, and I'm going to dehydrate them without the skins. Because they're not really attached to the skins. They're that ripe. Sorry, I dropped a seed. So I've already got one tray full here. And that's what it looks like. And so I'm going to get as much as I can off the lemons, because I don't want to lose them. I don't want it to be a whole wash. And I think the story, what I was trying to get at was, it's kind of easy to let things get away from you in the busy season of life. And I think we were so busy with Thanksgiving and stuff, we didn't check on these and assumed they were okay, and they weren't. So we'll know better next time. But I'm also I'm still concerned about the lemon tree, because it's still, it doesn't look like it did in past years, so I don't think I'll really know till spring. But I'm hoping I didn't kill it when we transplant or uppotted it, I guess. So this is an amber jar. A lot of people like to do fermentations in these, and I've done that before. My biggest issue with it is it's really hard to see. But it's supposed to help with fermentations because it blocks out the light. But like I said, when you're looking for those bubbles, especially if you're doing your own fermentation, like you don't have a kit and you're just using the salt brine and whatever you're fermenting, you're really kind of relying upon seeing those bubbles early on before you start burping it and getting the gases and stuff off of it. So I quit using these for that, because I had some where I got mold. I just couldn't see. And so we had ones where we just put it in the compost pile. But for something like this, I have these jars already. And for something like this, this will be great, because it's kind of like when we did the, when I was doing the tinctures and things like that. These have to sit for at least 6 to 8 weeks. So I'm putting all these lemon peels. You can do any kind of citrus. A lot of people right now, like, we love to eat cuties. Well, you got citrus peels, and if you're not going to throw them in your garden beds, you should put them in a jar with some vinegar and make you some cleaner. So I'm just using white vinegar, and all I'm going to do is just, in my jar right here that I have all those lemon peels I just showed you, I'm just going to cover it with the white vinegar. Now, if you're doing a cutie one, and like you just ate one cutie or two and you have 2 peels, just go ahead and start, maybe don't fill it up too much with vinegar, maybe halfway, and you just keep putting your cutie peels. If you need to add vinegar, then you can add it. But that's really all you're going to do. Now, if you're going to use like a mason jar lid, because this is vinegar, it can rust. I'm actually going to use one of my, that one's not that size. I'm going to use one of my plastic lids, if I can find one. I know I have one downstairs. I buy these things every time I go to the store because I use them. And so then I don't have to worry about the vinegar, any rust or anything like that. But if you don't have one of these and you're going to use the mason jar lid, you might want to put a little piece of parchment before you put the lid on, so that the metal's not going to come in contact with your vinegar. And then the last thing you need to do is, I'm going to take a Sharpie and I'm going to put lemon, and these are Meyer's lemons, so this will actually be a Meyer lemon vinegar cleaner. So lemon vinegar cleaner, and it's not the cleaner yet. You're letting it kind of infuse, and then you're going to strain it off. And then all you're going to do once you do that, wait a minute, also put the date. Today is 12/5/2022, because you'll forget the date. And so so you're going to let this sit on the shelf. You don't have to shake it, you don't have to do anything, you just put it somewhere in a dark place. You can put it under your sink if you wanted to, and in 6 to 8 weeks you can strain it off. And after you strain it off, then all you want to do is take the concentrated amount and have equal parts water to equal parts of the vinegar lemon infusion. And then you clean whatever you want, any surface you want with it. And it's a great cleaner, and it's repurposing things that would have went in the trash can. And if you have like a sprayer bottle, like I love the Meyer's cleaners, the spray ones that smell so good. My favorite one right now is a clove orange one that's really good. When I finish with that bottle, instead of tossing that bottle, I can just put this in it and relabel it, repurpose it. So if you have lemons, or you buy lemons at the store, you can do the same thing. You don't have to grow them to do this, and it keeps it from going in your garbage can. All right, so let me show you guys. I got 2 trays full of them. I probably have enough for another tray, but I've got to go, so I'll just put that in later on. What you're going to do is you're going to hit your temperature. It's already at 125, so now I just need my time. And I'm going to start with 20 hours. I'll start with 20 because this is 18 to 36 hours. So I'll check it in 20 hours and we'll see where we're at. Stay tuned. Okay guys, so my timer went off about 5 minutes ago. So let me show you. This was 20 hours of my lemons. And they're pretty dry, but they're not totally dry. And this process said up to 36 hours. So we've done 20. And I also did some orange slices as well. And my main purpose that I'm planning on using the Meyer's lemons and the orange slices, I'm just going to use them mainly, I think, to infuse my waters that I drink. So I'm going to turn it back on. It's 125. And then we're going to do our timer, and we're going to do, we'll do 14 hours. And we'll see how those are when they get done. And my guess is they'll probably be done. I'll probably check them before, because that'll kind of hit in the middle of the night. So I'll check them later and see where we're at, if we need to keep them running through, or if we can take a break, or if they're done. Alright guys, it's got 3 more hours to go, and I'm going to test it out because I want to go to bed. I don't know that I want to leave it on. Those are pretty dry. That one's still, let's check this. Those are pretty. They're pretty dry. That one's dry. Okay, I'm going to turn them off and I'll check them in the morning. and if they feel like they have some residual, that's pretty dry, moisture, then that one's pretty dry too. Then I'll turn them back on for a little bit while I'm awake, but I don't want to leave it on all night, so I'm going to turn it off. It smells amazing after I open this door though. Alright guys, it's the next morning and these have cooled down, so I can kind of get a feel for if they're dry enough. I mean, that's dry. These were on the top shelf and they definitely feel drier than the bottom ones. Now, I also think some of the ones that don't feel as dry are bigger sliced. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap this video up, but I'm going to turn them on for probably the additional 4 hours they had. And these that are done, I'm just going to go ahead and take those out. And that's how you dehydrate lemons or limes or oranges or any citrus. And so anyway, thanks for watching our video. If you found value, we appreciate a thumbs up. If you like what you're seeing on our channel, please consider subscribing, or if you know someone who might like our content, please share our videos. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.